Welcome to the Vocal Freedom Podcast. I'm your host, Lee Martin Thomas. Join me and my guest speakers as we discuss their journey with their voice and how they use it to support their passions and professions in media, education, and the performing arts. My guest this week is singer, entertainer, and Reiki Master Ian Geast, who I have to say is one of my favourite human beings. Pre-pandemic, Ian has been performing as a professional singer and entertainer for many decades. He's what I would call an all-rounder because he can do his magic anywhere. Clubs, bars, private parties, restaurants, festivals, corporate events, and he specialises in the swing crooner style of entertainment. He loves his 50s, 60s, 70s music, some country music, and he performs a tribute to the music of Cliff Richard. Today we cover a variety of topics around voice, what it is to sing and entertain others, and how we can enjoy being in the moment together. Ian has a wonderful view of life and helping others see things from different perspectives to help nurture love and a positive mindset so you can achieve whatever you want to. I hope you enjoy listening in on our conversation. I feel like me getting you on the podcast today is going to be like the beginning of a series of Ian episodes because there is no way we can get out your wisdom and all the fun stuff we're going to discuss in an hour. It's not going to happen, is it?
I'm not really I'm not a me person.
Yeah.
I like it's still learning, isn't it? When you're young and you think you know everything, and you get older and you think, no, I know nothing at all. And you think, I wish I knew all the things I know now. I find more now I'm really interested in people on an individual basis. I'm not interested in, like if I was to talk to a big crowd of people in a seminar or something, or some kind of discussion meeting or something, I wouldn't be interested at all. But if I could talk to someone one-to-one to see how they're feeling, what's working for you, that matters to me enormously, because you make so many mistakes in life and you learn from them, hopefully. Yeah. And you think, I can impart that wisdom on others. So is it wisdom or is it just thinking, well, I've made so many mistakes. If I could help this person not make the same mistakes, that'd be great. But we do all have to have our own journey.
Yes.
Don't we? Making those mistakes. It's all very well saying, don't do that. But they've got to learn themselves why they shouldn't do it.
You sort of feel as you get older as well, you just want to help out the younger ones, don't you? Let's just...
all day long.
If only they knew what we know now, you sort of want to pass on the wisdom. But you go, well, it's part of their journey to learn it their own way sometimes, isn't it? I think that's what you're saying.
You can plant a little seed in the back of their head. The individuals have to pick it up for themselves. They have to learn it themselves, because otherwise, it's like when you say to a child, don't touch that, it's hot. Until they touch it, they don't know exactly the connection between you saying don't touch it and going, that's hot, that, I won't do that again.
Yeah.
You can tell someone not to do it. That's
a very interesting thing that you brought up, because that exact thing happened with my daughter. That exact thing happened when we were, she was, I think she was about 8 or something, and I was taking a baking tray out of the oven and putting it on the top of the oven and I said, Phoebe, don't touch that. And she went and touched it, because I think she was being a boundary pusher, when you're about 8 and you're starting to push those boundaries, and she wanted to learn that for herself and ended up blistering her finger, and I looked after her and I thought, okay, you can't, they have to learn for themselves.
You can impart wisdom and opinions, and because a lot of it is opinion based, isn't it? It works for you, but might not work for the next person. So you can put that point across and think, well, it's okay, we can sort of give you the benefit of this opinion here, and they might say, but that's your opinion. That's fine. Well, just have a think about it. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm never ever saying I'm right.
Yeah.
Ever, never ever. But this is what I feel. This is what I think. But you've got to learn it for yourself. But try it out. Think outside the box. Don't just think. Think. Okay, let's explore it. Look at life as a seesaw.
As a seesaw.
Going down here, because the pivot is in the middle, isn't it? The balance part.
The balance part, yeah.
If we go from one end to the other, well, let's just not think it's going to be just that. Let's think about this and this, the whole picture of life.
Absolutely. Yeah, big picture thinking is really helpful when people get really stuck inside themselves, isn't it? Just to help them sort of see that they're part of a bigger connection and, the relationship we have with others. And it's really nice to reflect on that with somebody that has a similar kind of point of view, which is cool. We met each other and, you came into my life a couple of years ago through having a few lessons, and you were preparing for this big show. And so, you've got that performer side of you. But then after that, I've learned about you having sort of Reiki Master and all of that as well. So I've like,
Yeah.
wow, you're, a really sort of sort of spiritual person as well. So I mean, anything you want to share about that, I would just be intrigued to know how you ended up doing the music stuff and, what led you down using your voice as an entertainer as well.
Yeah. To be honest, I think I've always been an entertainer. I've always had that entertaining side to me. Now, is it a need to be, let's go deep. Is it a need to be loved and favoured, or the showman in you, or this just to share how you feel with someone so they can see you've got something special, especially if you struggle, if you struggle in life and you've got certain things that people go, oh, that's good. And you think, oh, that's my strength. But you don't know that at the time. But having backtrack, going to my father was a musician for years before me. And I just remember being a young boy and watching him on stage performing. And you don't click that, oh, that's my dad. You click as an audience member looking at the stage and then almost looking back and thinking, look how it affects people. And it's that energy thing again. It's this music is healing all day long. And you then get on the stage yourself and you look out and I perform and you are sharing that healing with people. You want them to connect to you. There's nothing better.
Absolutely.
There's nothing better. And I think I've said this before, sitting on the edge of a stage with your microphone and your band and the show behind you and you're singing a beautiful ballad that's really got a catchy chorus and your audience is singing back to you and you just put the mic down in your lap and you're listening to it as it's going on. You have that connection. There's nothing better than that. And I think particularly ballads, you get that connection with people because they get that feel of it. Fast songs, absolutely, you get more. Yeah, we're more into it. Yeah, but ballads really get home emotionally. And so ballads, it's quite a tricky thing because on the ballad, I always sing it that I'm right at the very edge of my emotional breakdown because I really want to convey this feeling of the song, the lyrics in that song, to really mean something to people. So you've got to get really close to your emotion to really portray it, to perform it, to connect with people. Yeah. And it's the energy of it. It's that, and it is that healing thing. People associate that. Oh, wasn't that lovely? That really, but did it mean something to you? Did it really connect with you? And that's important to me.
Yeah, that absolutely shows. I mean, I can't wait for the time to come and see you do your thing at some stage. But it came across when we worked together. Anyway, I could see that your energy was high and your love of the music that you were, and also being very respectful of music as well. Because we were you were doing some tribute work with the work of the music of Cliff Richard, right?
Yeah.
And was that something that came about because you happened to be a fan of him, or did you just happen to like those songs when they were popular? How did that happen?
I think it was more because I grew up with my father being a musician, so I can sing a whole huge album full of songs that my dad did originally, like Ink Spots numbers, and you'll think I've never heard of the Ink Spots.
Sorry,
vocal group, yeah,
okay,
a vocal group, pre the doo-wop sort of idea.
Okay,
fantastic. Every single song of the Ink Spots, and they were fantastic vocal group. Every song started bum 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 bum. Every song.
Oh wow!
And they would be doing all these fantastic songs, and you think, oh, it's just amazing. And it's the simplicity of it. It's so simple but beautiful. So I grew up with that, my father doing that, and all jazzy numbers and Django Reinhardt and all these sort of things. And let's see, Glenn Miller sort of stuff, swing stuff, all the jazz. So you got your Frank Sinatra, you got your Dean Martin, who I've always thought was much better than Frank Sinatra. I'm sorry, I have to say, because he had a lot of that kind of feel. I always found Frank very sharp in his very kind of singing.
Yes.
Whereas Dean was very, everybody loves somebody sometime. That kind of feeling. It's
quite
dreamy,
schmoozy,
isn't it?
Schmoozy.
Yeah,
yes,
but it's lovely.
It is lovely.
Nice. It's so
soothing.
It's he could sing the menu, as they say.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I think beautiful voice. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so everything he would do, he could sing the menu in a restaurant and it would sound fantastic. So I grew up with all these sort of things my father did, and I got to do it. And as the music's going along, you learn other songs, you hear other songs. Again, into the Cliff Richard thing now, more the music than the man at the start, because I was hearing these beautiful songs and I just think these are great songs. Many of them simple, but great songs, and particularly, again, the ballads, lovely ballads. And I just thought, I really like these songs. I got really into it. And I thought, I just want to pursue that. I mean, there's other artists, of course. I mean, obviously, in the 50s and that, Elvis Presley was just my favourite artist of all time. Not going to argue, no one can change that from my view. But the Cliff stuff, because I found it very, I suppose, easy to do and enjoyable and very, just really connecting kind of music, because there's so much love of that kind of music in a lot of the shows and the groups I go to. So it's, and I sort of carried on doing that, and it just went on. And then obviously I got to you and we had to sort out a show. I actually really love your way, your energy. And I'm changing it around to you now because I can.
You can.
Because when we first met, I hadn't met you before, and in the meeting, I think we dressed up, didn't we? We had hats on. Do you recall? We popped.
I've got hats all around my studio.
Yeah, no. But the lovely thing about that, see, this is what I love, is because it's so relaxing. It allows you to allow your natural performer to come out. I've had lessons in the past, no names, from a very, very, very well-known London theatre teacher. And it never felt like that at all. I always felt like it was a school teacher.
Okay.
Whereas with you, I felt it was like my best friend helping me out.
Oh, I'm glad. That's lovely, Ian. Thank you.
But that's the thing. You've got to feel comfortable, because it's a really emotional, connected thing you're doing. And you really want to portray it as well as you can, as well as you feel.
Yeah.
And so when you're in an environment where you feel really comfortable, it just allows it to happen.
It's a playful space. I always try to describe my studio, I haven't had a client in here in over a year, and it hurts in a way, because I love working with people actually in the room. But I have to say, going online has been, thankfully, really, it has worked for me. I know it hasn't worked for everybody, but it has worked. And being able to sort of spread my way of working out a bit more globally now has been incredibly rewarding. And I just get so excited. I'm like, I've got a client in Florida. I just go like, and it's just great. But it's fun to just make connections with people all over the place. And I like that's what being online has allowed us to do, which has been great. And I wouldn't be able to see you, not in the flesh. It's not the same right now, but I can see you and connect with you as well, which is lovely.
Yeah.
So when we spoke a few weeks ago and we were talking about energy and stuff, and I had no idea, that you were a Reiki master. It just sort of came up, didn't it? We were in conversation. Yeah. And this is an area which I've not gone down that route. The moment I've been going down sort of bio-tuning and things where I'm using tuning forks and energy, and a sort of I'm very at the birth of understanding all that, and electromagnetic fields and stuff. But the Reiki stuff really interests me. Having never actually had a Reiki session, what's that like for people? Because I want to book one as soon as, but what happens?
Well, it's very different for every single person. Everyone gets something completely different out of it, because it works on all their levels, mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. So whatever it is the body or the mind needs, it will work on. Yeah. And I the simplistic way, because obviously it's a hands-on and hands-off therapy. So obviously head, neck, shoulders, and then I generally just hover over everything else, and then just the ankles to finish off and that. But I hover over everything else, and it's just basically the only way to describe it. I think the best way for me in Reiki is to imagine the energies coming into your plug socket.
Okay.
That's what it's doing. It goes into your socket on the wall, right? And then all that happens is that energy's there all the time. And it's the only way to describe it is I'm plugging myself into it and switching it on, and it goes through me.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's how it works. I'm almost keeping myself out of it. I'm just connecting to it. And I give it. I pass it. It passes through me. So I'm just the connector. Yeah. So, and I consider myself no more than just the connector to the universal energy that's out there.
Yeah.
That's all around us.
That's amazing. Yeah. Must be so powerful. And when you learn to do that, if you become a practitioner of Reiki, because you're sort of dealing with an invisible force, aren't you? The sort of life force, the energy force. It's an invisible thing, but it's something. It is palpable the more you tune into it, isn't it? I think I find having, whether you call it chi, whether you call it life force, whether you call it energy, whatever it is, it's the light of the human being that's part of us, body, mind, spirit, right? So I guess what I'm feeling with Reiki, just intuitively, because I've never had the experience, it's like the Reiki master can sense where there are sort of blockages in the body or tightness in the body, pain in the body, those sorts of things. And like you say, it can be physical pain, emotional pain, but it's stored in the person, if you like, stored in the vessel that's in front of you. So when you're working with it, would you feel that you're releasing it, or are you energizing it to release it? Because what you said there about putting in, being a vessel, I'm like, it's coming through you and into them to release?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So it's running through, and it'll go through the body, and it'll go to where it's needed.
Yes.
Reiki gives you what you need, and it works that way. And I see myself as no more than just the connector, because it's so easy to go, yes, I'm a healer. Yeah, okay, but the Reiki's the healer.
Okay.
I'm just there assisting it to reach you.
Like a vessel. Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
I'm not, and I'm no more than that. I won't ever have. Everyone's different. Everyone, people go, yes, I'm a Reiki healer and I heal people. Well, actually, I don't. It goes through me. It does it for me.
Yeah. So
I'm just that connector, and I don't see myself as because it's so easy to. It's like anything in life. It's so easy to allow ego to get in the way in life. Yeah. Life can be like that, but no. I just go there. I connect, and the Reiki does the work for me.
No, that's wonderful.
I get the pleasure of watching someone really relax down and getting what they need to help them, hopefully through life and through situations. It's great. It's lovely. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's just, I can't wait for a session. I'm really looking forward to it. The only thing I've had similar many years ago was I went for a session of kinesiology.
Okay.
And it was on the recommendation of one of my relatives. We've grown up together. It's a cousin of mine, actually. We've always struggled with our weight in terms of we put it on, we've lost it, we put it on again, we've lost it, and we've had children and we've changed sizes over the years. And I don't think either of us are particularly put a lot of worry into that. I've never really worried. I'm married to a man who's loved me at a size 10 and a size 20. It's not an issue really. No. But at the same time, in terms of getting older and wanting to be a little bit healthier and stuff like that, we were both in our 30s then. And she said, I'm going for this session. And she went and she came back and said, it was amazing. She said, I felt something was sort of lifted from me that I'd been carrying around for years. She sort of had this real experience of release. And then she said she had this newfound sort of focus in her diet. So I was like, okay, well, I'll see if I can find someone near here. I'll go and give it a go. And I went and had a session with a lady quite local to me here in Colchester. But when I was laying on the table, I found myself conflicted as a receiver because I didn't understand what was being done. Certain parts of the session involved her laying things on top of my body in different places. And I was, fully dressed, but I think I had a little blanket over me. And she was tapping me in places, like lifting up my arm and tapping and doing sort of different things. But I have to say, because I was sort of laying there thinking, why is she doing that? What's that about? Because I had so many questions and curiosity, I didn't feel necessarily I was receiving anything at the time. I was curious though. And I was relaxed as well, relaxed, curious, mind still ticking over a bit, thinking, what does that do? How is that going to work? But I was open to it. And at the end of the session, we sat down and spoke to each other. And then I burst into tears. And really unexpectedly as well. I hadn't expected anything to come up. I didn't really understand what the tears were in that moment, I have to be honest. And I sort of, you suddenly burst out crying. You sort of go, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. And you grab the tissues. And I did feel a bit flustered because I really didn't understand what was going on. And then I made another appointment, said my farewells, left, got in the car, cried all the way home. I mean, all the way home. I was like, and this was, I think, a good sort of 20-minute journey in the car. I was literally all the way home, got home, had a cup of tea, sat down and thought, what on earth was that all about? What's your opinion on what happened there?
For me, I would say, from a feelings point of view, your logical brain was so in the way of the whole of that session, wasn't it?
Yes, it probably was.
Because you're constantly thinking and your mind's going mad, thinking, what's that for? What's this do? What's happening? What's that?
Yeah.
It's like almost like a child saying, what's that? Why can't I do it? Can I do this? Can I do that? It's like that. Your logical brain's getting in the way. But your emotional side saying, at the end, what a release.
Yeah.
What a release. Because see, the thing with, obviously all healing is different. Reiki healing, very much, you can sometimes have a healing and you feel worse because of it. You think, I feel dreadful, I feel whatever. And that's because the negativity is coming out of something that you've been holding, that's been tying and holding on to you. And sometimes it can cause that. And sometimes, just like the situation, you've not switched off. Your logical brain's going, no, what's going on here? I want to ask all these questions. Oh, why are you doing that with my arm? Why is this happening? Why is it? Instead of just going, do you know what? I'm just going to let it happen.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we're not ready for a situation.
Yeah, and I think
so you actually get the conflicting.
I think that brings us right back to where we started as well, because that thing of, I did it on the recommendation of someone else having had a positive experience and them saying, you should try this, it'll be good for you. And actually at that time in my life, it wasn't the right thing for me. So
And you wasn't ready for it.
No.
You was doing it because someone else suggested it rather than because you thought, I need to do this.
Yeah. And
I want to try this.
Absolutely. And I think that it does make all the difference. It does speak to also how, when I work with people, when I work with clients, my success with them is 50-50, isn't it? I mean, I can offer my insight into what we can play with if we're working with, with a song or a voice or something, but ultimately they have to meet you halfway too. And that's that. I think I'm glad you said what you did about when we met, because that was what I felt straight away, was you were ready to play and you could relax enough to explore things, which is that's where you find the good stuff, isn't it? When you relax enough to explore it, you know.
You have to let go and allow yourself to come out to do what you need to do to get the job done. To you're going for lessons. It's like all sorts of things. If you don't, you've got to meet on the same level. The person who's trying to help you. Yeah. If the person's trying to help you, you've got to meet them. If they're going to go all the way to, at the top of that mountain to help you, you've got to go up there and join them. Because if you just say, "Oh no, I'm going to stay down the bottom, I can't really," you're not going to help yourself. Yeah. You're going to frustrate the teacher who sees so much potential in you. You've got so much potential, but you won't let me help you to get it out of you. Yeah. That's frustrating. I can see that frustration. But when you just let go, going straight back to your little lesson, your therapy, just let go, just forget the logic, just let it happen. As you quite rightly say, you learn so much about yourself and what you can do if you just let go.
Absolutely, yeah. People can get very much in their own way, and I think you were saying about ego. That's one of those things that the human has to sort of learn to see it for what it is, and understand how we can get in our own way. But once you get past that and really start to develop, there's some amazing awakenings that can happen through people's lives. I think we've both had similar experiences where you know, life hasn't always been very easy, and we don't have to talk about the difficult times, but it does, builds resilience in a person. And I think it's when you start to see yourself in a bigger picture when you've been through traumatic experiences, don't you?
I think without a shadow of a doubt, I think, to be honest, you've got to fall over enough times to say, I've got to be careful of that piece of ground there, because you'll learn nothing. If you keep falling over and don't learn from it, you'll never move forward in life. You'll always be stuck. We've all had bad experiences, and bad experiences are dreadful things and really upsetting and sometimes devastating, but they do make you the person you are in the future.
Absolutely.
They will help you get through. When the stuff hits the fan in life, you go, okay, I've been here before, I can do this. And you will.
That you get stronger every time that you're given something hard to deal with. And I think
all day long.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, I don't know if you're up for this, Ian, but I would love it if you would share with our listeners how you met your lovely wife. I mean, in terms of the story you told me of, you met at a performance you were giving, right?
Yeah, I can tell you. I was on stage doing a show with a band. This would be how many years ago? This is like nearly 16 years ago now. And I was just performing, and you perform, and you're doing your thing, and you're flirting to your audience. You're performing, you're having a good time. You've got good interaction going on. And there's just happened to be this lady out in the audience, and I was just singing away, doing my thing, and I looked into her eyes, and I thought, oh, I know you. You don't know where, I just know you. Oh, there's something, and you feel really connected to that person. And then I'm doing a show. As the show's getting closer to the end, I think, oh, I really must speak to her. I must speak to her. And then as I finish the show, I come off stage, and the only way I can describe it is if someone spiritual is on your shoulder, tapping your shoulder, saying, "Go and speak to her, or you'll never see her again." go and speak to her. You'll never see her again. It's just like that. And it was overpowering. I cannot describe it. And I turned round and she was stood right in front of me. And she said hello. I said hello. And the rest is history.
Wow.
We were married within 5 months of meeting.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so amazing.
And the thing is, when she was out there dancing, looking up, she's thinking, oh, I know him. So we had the same, that connection. And people go on about, soulmates. Yes, yeah. But when you know, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I cannot describe it another way. And you just think it was so enormously powerful. And just turned around right from it. I thought, this is the person, this is the one.
Yeah, it's like that meant to be moment.
Yeah, because you hear people say, oh, yeah, I don't believe in all that. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
Oh, I believe in all that.
When it happens, you'll know.
Or I see you and your wife coming together, a few chapters down the line, should we say, a little bit later in your journeys. It almost feels like you were wise enough in the cosmos, both of you, to make that decision to meet later. Because if you'd have met when you were kids, would it have been the same?
No. We were on different journeys.
Yeah.
The thing is, of these things, when you meet your soulmate, when you meet that person for you, you've both got to be ready for that meeting.
Absolutely. Because
you're on young. If we'd met when we were younger, we both spoke about this. We wouldn't have liked each other because we had different journeys to deal with.
Yeah.
And then when you get to a certain time, the spirits are looking down and going, a bit like putting some seasoning on some food through their fingers. They're ready now. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
they're ready now. And then you just meet, and there you are. But no, had we met early, we wouldn't have liked each other. We was on different journeys. We had different things going on in our lives. You've got to be ready on all levels to meet the right one. Because sometimes you'll meet them early and you'll recognise someone going up an escalator while you're going down. You think, do I know that person? Maybe not.
Yes, I mean, maybe your paths crossed on a train one day. Maybe it's a possibility.
I mean, we've always been very close in terms of geographically without knowing each other.
Wow.
So paths could easily have crossed on the road or wherever at some point, because we've been sort of in those locations together at the same time, but not nowhere near each other, not knowing each other.
Yeah.
But I think, definitely when the time's right. The time's right.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, it's certainly in terms of the universe conspiring to help you when you're in need as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Healing you. Mm-hmm. Sorting your lives out and helping you move forward with your lives, Yeah.
So how's life for you right now? How are you doing?
Hunky-dory, yeah.
Hunky-dory.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, hunky-dory, yeah. Haven't done a gig in years. It's fantastic.
Isn't it crazy? I know, we're all sort of waiting for things to pipe up. You did tell me, your diary's starting to fill up again, so you've got gigs coming up.
Yeah, no, it's good now. I'm really, really pleased. So, yeah, it is what it is. We can't change it, but it'll be fabulous when it comes back.
Yeah, definitely.
It'll be fabulous. It's going to be really good fun.
Fabulous. Yeah. Now, a question I always ask my guests on the podcast, Ian, is what is vocal freedom to you?
It's interesting. I suppose it's being able to express who I am to whoever's around me. And to share my own. Because you see, I'm into it because I love telling people about my life to help them with theirs. And my favourite line with expressing this vocal freedom, if you like, then if you look at it this way, is you hear people say, you use it yourself, and it's really humbling. These words of wisdom you come out of you, and all that's to do with I've made so many mistakes. Somewhere along the line, you've got to figure it out, and I try to express all that to people and say, look, the reason I know this is because I made so many messes before, and I love the analogy of the T-junction. I don't know if I've ever told you about the T-junction analogy.
Do tell me.
A T-junction analogy is basically, and this is everybody, we're driving on our little cars, even if we don't drive, it's an imaginary car, we get to the T-junction of life and we're forever turning left. But life's not working for us. It's just not working. We keep turning left because that's what we should or must do. Because that's what expectations, what we should do. Got to keep turning left. But then one day you're going to get that junction and go, do you know, this really isn't working for me. I'm going to turn right. So you change where you're going. And so in terms of vocal freedom, I'm giving that to other people, because when I was younger, I didn't have a clue, couldn't express how I felt, couldn't interact with people. You figure it out and you go, do you know what? I don't want to be this person, because believe it or not, I'm really shy. I'm really, really, really deeply shy. But when I'm talking about subjects like these things and life and music and who you are, I find that really easy. It's very comfortable.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm almost giving something back in a healing sense again to other people to help them on their way. That's what this vocal freedom would be to me, because figuring this out, there was no vocal freedom.
Yes, yeah.
None at
and
all.
I'll tell you what, that really does speak to me a lot. I really feel you on that, because whether it's, you know, through making your own mistakes and learning your own lessons, whether it's through things that have been out of your control, things that you can't control in your life, there's sort of like a pathway that can lead you down into anxiety and depression, and you can just keep going down that road and feeling miserable. Or you can, like you say, kind of change direction and make a decision that your life is so important.
Yeah.
And your connection to yourself is probably the most important thing. When people lose that connection with themselves and they've been spiraling down, it's like they've got to come back to themselves before they can communicate and connect again with others.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry, you've got to have confidence in your own opinions and beliefs, because it's so easy to go along with everybody else and go, oh, we're going to do this. Oh, okay, then we'll do that. You've got to do it for yourself. You've got to learn, because it's not about just your own mistakes. It's other people's input and what you should be doing.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that. You should do this. But you've got to sort of figure out, okay, would that work for me? Because that might work for you, but what works for me? And you've got to find your own self.
Absolutely.
And going back to the, how life throws its things at you. And sometimes it's really bad. And sometimes it's just the situations that you're stuck in.
Yeah.
Not necessarily about the mistakes you made, but it's other people's mistakes and opinions that have set you up almost, because you haven't done what was true for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got to go with how you feel and what works for you. You've got to figure it out for yourself. I mean, everyone's got their opinion, and that's great, but all those opinions might not necessarily work for you.
I was just going to share. I was going to say this. I think this comes out in a lot of people when they're in their, you sort of get to a certain age, and sometimes people will look back at their lives reflectively and go, well, I only did this because it was kind of what my parents expected me to do, or I did this because it was what everybody expects me to do. It's that whole idea of the society that we live in. Everybody's trying to conform and fit in to all these different roles, where in actual fact, we already belong the moment we arrive. Coming back to who you were when you arrived, I think that's a journey for some people to really reconnect with why you're a human being at this time in this part of history, what you're here to achieve, what you're here to do. There's just so much distraction. There's too many things that people waste their time collecting. You know what I mean? Oh, I need a bigger car. I need a better house. I need a better this, a better that. I need a better holiday. I need this. All of those material things don't fulfill a person, do they, Ian? They really do.
No, not at all. This is where it all goes. In my feelings, is where it all goes wrong, because we worry, concern, and surround ourselves with materialistic things. But what does this person really want? What do you? Because everyone can go out and do whatever they want if they really want to do it.
Yeah. Whatever
career you choose, whatever you want in life, you can do it. You've just got to really want to.
Yeah.
And be true to your own desires and dreams, and you've got to put the work in. I suppose it's a bit like you touched on anxiety, depression. Let's think about that for a minute. It's all very well going out and we're in a quick fix society. Let's go out and buy a self-help book. And you'll say to the person a week later, oh, how you getting on with that book? Well, I bought it. Yeah, but you've done nothing with it. So unless you're prepared to put the work in, you're not going to move yourself forward. You've got to sit there and say to yourself, using the anxiety and the depression thing again, I'm really unhappy. I'm really not this is not working for me. That's not working for me. Okay, so what are you going to do about it?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think that is the thing, because when people can get into sort of stuck into victimhood, get stuck into, I can't do anything, nothing works for me, that sort of mindset, very sort of fixed and boxed in, I think can happen. That's the bit that needs healing. I see that as that's the bit that needs that needs the healing, because it's the thought processes and it's the amount of time that person's convincing themselves that they're stuck and they can't change anything. Of course, we'll go, you can. It might be incredibly hard and you may need more support, but you can.
Yeah.
You're never really
stuck. The trouble is, this is the thing with a quick fix society. You think, oh, it's so difficult, I can't do it. Yes, you absolutely can, but you've got to look at the psychology of spinning lots of plates. You're not going to be able to spin them all because you're going to be going, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't, oh, how am I going to do this? Forget your plates. Let them all fall to the ground. Put one plate up. Deal with that one problem.
Yeah. Or just
when that's spinning happy,
let them all go and just breathe.
Yeah, let them all go. Just absolutely. Just think, do you know what? No.
Yeah.
Let it fall down. Right, stop. No more. I'm just going to put one plate up. I'm going to deal with that one problem.
Yeah.
There you go. I've done that. Tick that. Let's move to the next one. Absolutely. We try and do too much too quickly. Got too many things going. Oh, I don't know where my, think, oh, I don't know where I am. What am I doing? When am I doing it? Just so much going on in your head. Leave it. Just don't know.
Absolutely. And that's when nothing gets done because you're too busy flapping, right? So you do need strategies. You need to strategize. Success needs to be strategized to some degree. I mean, in terms of people that want to be high level performers these days, you can't just become one and that's it. You're done. The strategy and the work and the planning and all the team of people that are needed. You think Beyonce isn't Beyonce just by being Beyonce, is she?
No, there's a huge number of people to make it happen for you.
Huge number of people.
You got to look at life like making a beautiful meal. You need a piece of paper and a pen and write down all the ingredients you need to make that meal. You can't wing it. Go, sorry about the spaghetti bolognese. I forgot to make the bolognese sauce. But you need to do that, and you need all those things. And like in music, okay, what do I need? I'm going to go out and perform at shows, so I'm going to need a microphone, I need cables, I need a PA system. What sort do I need? Okay, so I need to explore what sort I need. I need to speak to the right people.
Yes.
And get the right information and speak to the right people who are going to get me the right equipment that I need for me specifically to do what I need to do.
Absolutely. And that is that proactive, that positive mindset of I can do, will get things done. We'll get things done. Absolutely. But it is very much your attitude, isn't it? It's having a positive mindset and a positive attitude that gets you through. Yeah. And it doesn't feel so hard then. You can just show up. It's just, here I am, and this is what I know, and this is what I do.
Yeah. Ask the right people.
Yeah. And you're not battling the tide, for want of a better word. Like some people are trying to swim the wrong way in terms of it's trying all the time to do something where you go, just go with the flow.
No, that's absolutely right. But it's exhausting. If you're trying to swim against it, it's really exhausting and you'll get tired very quickly.
Yeah.
And you got to go, do you know what? And you just got to stand up and go, well, hang on a minute, let's spin that one plate at a time.
Yeah.
Let's deal with the one problem. Deal with the problems that can be dealt with, and then go on to the ones that are going to be problem, but do one at a time.
Yeah.
Because the ones you can do, the ones that are simple. I'll do this, get this problem out of the way, get this out of the way. Now you've given yourself some confidence that you can move forward and deal with these problems. If you try and deal with everything at once, it's impossible.
Absolutely.
If you've got multiple holes in a dam, you're never going to be able to plug them all. You've got to deal with one at a time. And then you actually get the right people involved to help you. Oh, well, I'll do this one. You do that one. So you got a support network of people that are going to help you through life. It's finding the right people.
Yeah, very much so. I'm so glad that we found each other when we have, because I feel like we're going to it's going to be easy for us to keep having these contemplative conversations, I think, throughout our I was going to say Twilight years, but neither of us are that old, Jay, are we? We're all right.
It's a great song. Twilight time. It's lovely. But you're very easy to talk to.
Thanks.
That's the thing. So it's nice. It makes it nice, and it's fun, and a huge array of subjects. It's brilliant.
Right? What does your voice mean to you?
What does my voice mean to me? Let me explain it this way. Some years ago, when I started singing, I got nodules. I cannot explain the devastation of getting nodules and thinking that was that. And the anxiety of going to shows and thinking about this problem, knowing that you can still sing. I see in speech therapists, you can still sing, but you're losing confidence. And as you're driving to the show, your voice starts going more like this.
Oh, God.
And that's because you're creating it. You're creating this anxiety. And so by the time you get to the show, you start doing that sort of thing for no reason other than your body's going, oh, we're really nervous about what's going on here. And it's a terrible thing. But then I went to hospital to have these nodules sorted out. I saw a fantastic surgeon whose name has gone from my head. He was all dressed up in these blues and twos.
Oh, yes.
Lovely terminology. Came down to me. I was just about to, I was in my fantastic socks, beautiful pants and my little cover.
Oh, lovely.
Ready to go on the trolley.
Yeah.
It's very glamorous, very glamorous. And he said to me, he came straight into me just before he said to do the operation, he said, you don't need this operation.
Ah.
You don't need this operation at all. He said, if you have some therapy, some speech therapy and that will really help you. Don't have the operation.
Oh, wow. They really didn't
it may never be the same again.
Yeah, I mean, there is a risk of scar tissue if you have nodules removed.
And he said,
so, yeah.
Honestly,
you can therapy them.
Honest opinion, he said, don't have the operation.
Brilliant.
He said, pack yourself up and walk out in the hospital.
That's amazing.
So I packed myself up and all the porters come in ready to take me down.
And I'm like, nope,
I said,
going home.
No, I'm going home. And that changed so much. And the enormous relief of not having to have this and that terrible thought of losing what you love, that voice, and knowing that it will never be the same again, because there are some disasters and generally work fine. But if you don't need it, I'd really consider that, because you're working off an ENT opinion.
Yeah.
Have this, have the operation that will sort it right out. Yeah, but not if you don't need it. Because a lot of it was speech therapy and belief that you can get through it. Because the moment we are our worst enemy. We are our worst enemy. Oh, I can't do it. I'm going to fail. We are the worst. So, of course, as soon as you've got a problem vocally, and it's your art form is singing, and you love to sing, that you may not be able to do it again, or you as I say, going to a gig, you get to the gig and now your voice is getting really like this, and you're on stage, and you think, am I going to get through the next line of this song, let alone the 2.5 hour show? It's an awful thing. It's awful. But to actually realize how much your voice means to you and how much you want to protect it, look after it, and go forward with it, and have this fantastic surgeon say to me, don't have the operation, just pack your stuff up and go. And that's where I met Helen.
Yes.
Funny enough.
Yeah.
I met Helen, a mutual friend. And clever lady. And I've never looked back.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Helen, clever. She was so clever, she introduced me to you.
Oh, she's lovely.
And as I say, the rest is history. So
yeah.
My voice is the most important thing in the world to me, because not just for me, but to my audiences, because I want to share my I don't like using the word talent, but we just call it given by the spirits to heal.
It's like your energy.
I'd rather use that. Yeah, because that's really important to me, And I'll go back to the ballad thing again. When I'm singing a ballad, as I'm singing a line of that ballad, I'm thinking in my head, in the back of my head, how can I make this next line really hit home to people in the audience? And I think like that the whole time I'm doing it.
Yeah, it's the message of the music, isn't it? Yeah,
and going back to the line earlier about being right on the edge of your emotional, where you're going to fall off the edge of that, whatever it is, the hill, the mountain, the top of the stairs, you're going to fall. You're very close to that emotional disaster where you just fall in floods of tears, because you need that in yourself to really hit home to people what this song is about, how it connects to you and how it will help you.
That's wonderful.
And it's I cannot say it that way. If I was to ever speak to young singers, I'd say the same things to them.
Yeah.
Connect really well with how you feel about the song. What does the song mean to you? What does that line, what does it mean to you? Because if you just sing it and it means nothing, you're sharing nothing with it. But if you really think about the lyrics and what they mean to you, because we've all had terrible things, we've all had loss and all this. And it's really important to really connect with people with that. And the long and short of it is that it means the world to me.
Yeah, it really does. I can see that and feel that from you too. With your moment there where you were really thinking about, seeing yourself on the edge of the stage singing a ballad, is there a particular song that comes to mind that you remember having a moment with your audience, or a favourite, so just...
I'm going to get upset now. There's times when I've sung particular songs. I might depress people if I start talking about sad things. So I try and keep it balanced. I had my dog that was really ill, and we had to put him down, unfortunately, in the morning. And then I had to drive all the way up the country to do a theatre show.
Oh, gosh.
And, contractually, you understand.
Yeah, I do understand.
No, I'm sorry, you will be sued if you don't go.
Yeah.
Okay. So did the show, and I sang, I'm going. Sorry, I'll be back in a minute.
That's all right. You let
it was a cliff show, and the song was "The Minute You're Gone."
The minute. Oh gosh. Yeah, that's I can see even in the title. Yeah, that is that's something that would have come up completely. Do you know what we just to give you a chance to recover there? Gethin and I did a gig the day his father died, and again it was that situation. It was too late to cancel, and we would have. I mean, apart from the fact I was in a band with 5 others, they would have all lost the income as well. We went and we did put it to, you do this thing where you can sort of put it to side and be a professional, and you get on with it.
Absolutely.
And I know without a doubt you would have been fully professional. But there is still moments perhaps in that show where the lyric, because you are sharing your voice, your story. And well, of course, if we had it, I can't remember particular songs that night because I was on a bit of an autopilot to not plug in so much, because obviously
you separated.
You've got to slightly separate yourself, I think, when you are very particularly highly emotional anyway. But I can completely, feel how that would have been an absolute moment. Well done for getting through that. That must have been.
You do, as you say, experience. You do have to. It doesn't affect the show. No one will ever know because you'll still be. But that's because we're performers.
Yeah,
that's our job.
Yeah,
you wouldn't get a bricklayer going, I can't lay your bricks today because I'm feeling a bit down.
Yeah, I mean, that's it.
Just get on with it, don't you? Yeah. It's a workmanlike performance. Yeah. It's like egos, as I say. We've all got egos. When I walk from the edge of the curtain to on the stage, there's no ego in me.
Yeah.
It's just a sharing of what's going on. And so you just focus on doing what you do. You walk off the stage, you pick up your ego as you go. And go home.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Sometimes when you take it off, you don't want to pick it up again anyway.
No, that's fine. Yeah. But never walk with it on your stage.
Oh, yeah, definitely. No, you can't.
See through you.
Exactly. And that's not, you're right. And those are the performers perhaps that we don't connect with because it's too much focused on about them. It's not a sharing experience.
Absolutely.
So yeah. I'm with you on that.
It's absolutely not the performer. I can't speak for others, but for me personally, it's not me. It's never about me. It's about what can I do to just make your evening and your worries just seem that little bit less just for tonight.
And that, do you know what? I think that really helps people coming up that will be listening that are new at singing and new at performing, and perhaps, they haven't got the experience that you have, is that when you make it not about you, that's another really helpful way to control your nerves as well. Yeah. Because you're not carrying it on, and the pressure that people tend to feel when I see them getting nervous is because it's all about them. And what they're scared about, what other people are going to think. They're scared about being judged. They're scared about it going, and all the fear. And I'm going, that's your fear. Whoa. This is the time for you to let that all go and get on the stage. Obviously, I know it's not that easy. We do other things to get through that. But it is that understanding that as a performer, you are a vessel and you're communicating and you're
the vessel again.
I think I was a vessel, cosmic flow. I just keep going to all those things.
No, I love it. No, it's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. It's there's you're going to get people. I don't get nervous about going on stage. When I had my anxiety about nodules, that was different. That's a totally different thing. That's not stage fright.
That's understandable. I've
not had that. I don't get that. I had stage fright the very first time I went on stage when I was knee high to a grasshopper. Not sure that counts though.
No, it doesn't really count.
It's not stage fright where you think I'm going to fall to pieces, can't remember the words, and it all goes horribly wrong. It's just like, okay, I'm here then.
Well, it's my turn. It's my turn now. I've got to go do my thing. Yeah.
So and it's just it's like a lot of things. As long as you prepared. I mean, the musician saying is rehearse, and rehearse some more. Just get that right, but perform the performance. Don't just know your songs, because it's so easy to just stare at the microphone while you're singing and not connect.
But it's so
really
boring
important
for the the isn't it?
Yeah,
It's so
but
boring.
that's the learning. It's very hard for someone who's new doing this. It's a lot of pressure. It's enormous pressure.
Enormous.
Because the moment someone tells you you're really good, now I've got to keep really good. So, nerves on stage, yes, you're going to get, some people get nerves on stage. But if you're naturally a nervous person on stage where you think, I'm really not dealing with this, let it work for you. Let your nervous energy work for you.
Yeah, that's a good way around, yeah.
I can tell you so many people, one in particular, no names, a fantastic performer from the 60s, very famous band. I'd be at the backstage with him. He'd be a complete nervous wreck.
Yeah.
Absolute in pieces. As soon as he steps foot out in that curtain, there's a different hat on him. And you would never know.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you do it? Making the nerves work for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your nerves are not in control of you. You're in control of them. Let them work for you.
Yeah, that adrenaline and taking it on the stage and embracing your audience. Just, I think it's having the courage to be vulnerable and the courage to put yourself out there. It does take experience, and then obviously the more you do it, the more you give, the more you get. It really does come through. How much of a true entertainer and a true performer you are.
Just have a good laugh before you go on stage to get rid of all that mad energy, or that if you're that sort of person, if you're a nervous person, if you're prepared, if you're properly prepared and you're prepared and you really can't do any more in terms of preparation for it, just have a laugh while you go on stage. Just relax yourself. In fact, go out into the audience and join in with the fun. Join in what's going on, have a laugh, have a sing song, have a dance out on the stage.
It's a great way.
On the dance floor. Just to relax yourself down.
I used to do that in sound checks, actually, because we used to get because sometimes with bands, you get to the venue, you're setting up, there's still people in the venue, you've got to set up around them. And I quite often do that because I had a cordless mic, so I'd go off into the bar and be like singing, doing a sound check from the bar and just like chatting to people in the honestly, in the club and stuff,
If you bring some humour into it, because remember, you're entertaining, that's your job.
Yeah.
I can remember we was in doing a very big show in Holland, and it was a huge hotel complex. And I've done this so many times, it's like, here he goes again. I'll jump off the stage, I'll run down the side of the stage, through the bar, around the very back of the hotel, and come in the exit at the back and still be singing in time after the solo.
Oh, that's brilliant. Brilliant.
And then with the audience and just pop up and sit next to someone on one of the chairs and just say, hello there, and carry on singing. Because you're entertaining, that's your job. And if you're a little bit, if you're the sort of person who gets nervous, have a laugh, have some fun. I would honestly suggest go out and do if you're young, if you're new, go out and do as much karaoke as you can, but have a real laugh with it. Bring some friends and don't do it seriously. Do it like it's daft, it's really silly, because it's such an icebreaker for your nerves. You'll get so used to it. It's like people that do who have to do new jobs, for instance, let's change the subject a bit, and become a manager. I never managed people before. Go and do some stand-up. Go and do some little 5-minute little things. Crazy, be mad. You think, I can't do that. No, do it. Relax yourself. Get used to talking in front of people. Do all the things that make you scared, but do them. Make it fun. So that when you get on stage, you're already halfway there.
Yes, brilliant.
But definitely stay in the audience and get the feel, because if you're sitting backstage, you think, you don't know what's going on. You're not part of what's going on. Go out around the front and just sit in the audience, have a laugh, have a dance, have a chuckle, meet people, and then go back round and do your show. Oh,
I bet you've had some amazing shows, and I would love to have a bit of fly on the wall. But your audiences, if they're coming to see you doing like a sort of Cliff tribute, do they treat you like you're Cliff or anything? Do they sort of like, you got old ladies, throwing pants at you and stuff? I don't know.
No,
no, actually, probably he never had.
No, because I've never tried to be. This is where it goes on. For me, I've never tried to be that person. It's more of a respect for the music. But I like to bring humour into it and have a laugh with them and that. I guess my funny enough, the show that you and I prepared for. When we did, we'd finished, I'd done the last song and they're all calling for more. And I'm backstage in all my gear. But then I sort of walked through the stage, as it were, the curtains, and I'm pretending to put my jeans on. I'm like this, and I go, no, go home. I'm like, so they're just giggling their heads off.
Yeah.
You've got all your gear on, but you trying to pretend you put your jeans back on over your trousers. Go home,
yeah.
no, go home.
Oh, they did love that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
But that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, and it makes you memorable as well, and they'll want to see you again. It's so important to engage with your audiences, and you know, if you want to build a following and have repeat business, you've got to enjoy the work. And I think when, like you say, when you've seen some people in the olden days, when you were young, little, you can see professionals. You get an impression what they're like from seeing them on telly or on stage as an audience member. But if you could actually step behind the curtain and speak to the person behind the scenes, they're very often not the persona that they may have been putting on in their performance, aren't they? The people
never are.
Yeah,
never
absolutely.
are. There's very few people that are the same, off stage as they are on. Very few. And but then talking about artists, and the fun factor, I bring the Dean Martin thing in again, because he's got that, he's naughty. He's a naughty boy. He's a cheeky chap, and that comes across. Yeah. And I think that's really a lovely thing. It really connects with the audience, because you're going to have fun.
Yeah.
You are, because it's that little look in their eye, they're going to be naughty.
Yeah, and that's what we want. We want a bit. Yeah,
we want naughty. It's not offensive. It's not anything like. It's just fun. It's just and daft fun is great. I love daft fun.
Me too.
Daft fun is brilliant.
And you want a night out where you go out and you have a cackle laugh, and you have a great time, and you go home and you tell your friends, let's do this again next time he's in
all
town.
day long. Yeah, all day long. Yeah,
and look, I really do enjoy just connecting with you and us batting it back and forth, and we so much I think come from the same place.
Yeah,
that's how I see it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
You called me your soul sister the other day, and I welled up.
That's it. Yeah.
I actually did.
That's it. Yeah. That's
lovely.
It. My spiritual sister.
Yeah. Thank you, my spiritual brother. Love it. All right, darling.
You're a star. All right.
You are too. Have a great day. Thanks, lovely.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me on the Vocal Freedom Podcast. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and we'll move into your day with a bit more vocal freedom, feeling that you can express using your voice and let the world hear what you have to say. Visit colchestervoiceacademy.com/podcast. Sign up to be kept informed as new episodes are published, and consider joining our online community. Membership to this will allow you to post questions to our guests, link you to show notes, social media links, and entitle you to exclusive offers from our guests. See you next time.